Imagine a stage where Malay poetry unites with the rhythm of the tambourine. There are stories of kings, queens, princes, and princesses which flow beautifully from the lips of the actors. This is not just a performance. This is a legacy. This is Dulmuluk, the almost forgotten pride of Palembang. Beginning in the 19th century, amidst the glory of Malay culture in Palembang, a traditional performing art called Dulmuluk was born. Based on the story Hikayat Dulmuluk, it developed into a folk theater that combined literature, music, dance, and acting. Dulmuluk is a traditional Palembang theater that brings together poetry, music, and acting on one stage. The story is rooted in the Hikayat Abdul Dulmuluk, which tells the struggle of Prince Abdul Dulmuluk and his wife, Siti Ramad, in defending love and upholding justice. The theater was first introduced by Syed Ahmad Bakr, or Wan Bakr, an Arab descendant of Palembang, around 1919. He held a performance in front of his house at Tangga Takat 16 Ulu by reading a poem entitled Abdul Muluk Jauhari. This is where the name Dulmuluk was taken from. Since then, this story has been used as a performance and is favored by various groups. At the beginning of its emergence, Dulmuluk performances were only played by men because they were influenced by Malay Islamic customs and values. The reason was that according to social and religious norms, women were considered inappropriate to perform in public, especially to play roles on stage. However, over time, women began to participate in performances, especially in modern versions. Society is now more open to women's involvement in the public sphere, including in the performing arts. The structure of the Dulmuluk Theater performance consists of several parts that form a coherent flow of the performance. First, it begins with a ritual before the performance as a form of preparation and spiritual respect. Second, it is followed by the kissa, or narration part, which is the reading of the story delivered in the form of songs and accompanied by panjak music, such as violins, tambourines, jidor, drums, and accordions. This music serves as both background and narrator in the performance. Third, there is the beramas, or opening salutation, which is performed in the form of songs and dance movements as a sign of respect to the host, invited guests, and the audiences. Fourth, then the core performance begins with the presentation of the Dulmuluk drama scenes. In closing, the performance again presents beramas, this time as a closing greeting in the form of an expression of gratitude and apology to all parties for any shortcomings during the performance. Some of the stories that are usually performed include Shir Siti Zubaida and the Kingdom of Barbary. The characteristic of Dulmuluk is the use of language in the form of poems, rhymes, or gurindam. Malay and Palembang languages are the main colors in the performance. The actors must be able to sing spontaneously, accompanied by traditional musical instruments such as drums, tawak gong, violins, mandolins, gambus, tambourines, and drums. The costumes of the performers reflect the splendor of Malay culture. Songket cloth, tanjak, and shawl. Not to forget, the presence of witty characters such as the Dayangang and royal servant characters who insert humor and social criticism makes this performance not only entertaining but also touches the conscience. Behind the actors' movements and poems, Dulmuluk conveys noble values, honesty, courage, love for the country, and determination. The old Palembang language, known as Babaso, is also used as a means of preserving the local language, which is now rarely used. Why is Dulmuluk important? Dulmuluk is not only a performing art, but also a powerful medium of cultural learning. Young people can understand ethical values such as honesty and justice, loyalty and determination, anti-greed and revenge, and also politeness. In addition, aesthetic values such as rhymes and poems, traditional clothing, traditional music, and traditional dance are also presented in a fun way through stories and songs. Unfortunately, Dulmuluk is now on the verge of extinction. The existence of digital and modern entertainment makes traditional stages rarely organized. The theater groups that were once active are now just a handful, mostly run by older artists such as in Sanggar Harapan Jaya, Kampung Dulmuluk, and Sanggar Tunas Harapan. Even so, hope has not been extinguished. Some schools and communities have begun to reintroduce Dulmuluk. Cultural festivals and theater trainings have begun to be held, although they are still limited. All of this is not enough without the support of the wider community.
How can we preserve it in order to keep it alive and relevant? Dulmuluk needs to adapt to the current social circumstances of society, to adapt to technological advances in digital form, in order to reach a wider audience, to incorporate Dulmuluk elements into short films and animations, to encourage schools and art communities, to regularly hold training and performances, to establish regeneration to involve the young generations as actors, scriptwriters, and audiences members in every performance. With collaboration between the government, community, and society, Dulmuluk can rise again. Not just as nostalgia for the past, but as a proud cultural identity. Dulmuluk is not just an old story, it is the spirit, identity, and pride of the people of Palembang. Let's keep it and preserve it, in order to connect the culture between generations. Let's get to know our traditional arts better. Watch, support, and spread the spirit of love for Dulmuluk. Preserving this cultural heritage is our shared responsibility.